Why? Thank you. Together and celebrate ourselves. Actually, we are celebrating you. But like I've said, if you are going to go far and so on, at the end of the day, the thing is still around, the rest of they will make some further remarks. Now, we have to, we have the storm trackers because what we are doing, the topic of the lecture that we've been attending is radar, satellites, and so on. And we have come to the conclusion that radars are very important. So they have learned a lot and they know process. So they are members of the storm trackers. You know, in meteorology, storm trackers are those who go around with X-band radar, C-band, and then they go around tracking the storms with radars. So this group is saying, look, we need to explain the possibility. All right? And they want to say a lot about it. We listen to them. And conservative. They are called sky realists. They are also sky people. They are also meteorologists. But they believe that no. We can't go that way. We can't spend all our money on to have satellites, we have other things. And so they will give all the arguments. Now, this is how it goes. The first round, the storm trackers, we start it. What the storm trackers? Please, when you come, because we are teaching you leadership, the first person who comes, stand in front of us here. Cameras is tracking you. You introduce members of your team. We give you 2 minutes for that. So you have 6 minutes, and we have a timer. Once you introduce yourself, make your arguments. Discipline with the style reality. You also come to yourself and introduce each case. And you know how to respond when they introduce you. Welcome, who don't know it before, don't you? And then see this come around. So you coach. So what you have said, build your arguments. We want to see the best of you. Then the round, you know, the time is what? 6 minutes each round. The second round is also 7 minutes when you are in inter stage. Okay? Then the third round, you have what is once. The third round, you will switch now. You will come to tell us, because you have seen that actually we have to take a middle road. You know, I told you on Friday we're going to do this SSP, the middle road approach. SSP, what now? Yes, you will now. All right, this middle road approach, you will now want to present to us the way amalgamated system to say, okay, we know that we need more expansion, but we don't have money, but how do we go about it? And then the other group also will come. Now we have another group, the United Nations this place. They are called the name, and their name is the storm realist storm trackers. They are balanced. I want to tell you because what you do here, the director may take it to WASCAL because we want a way. WASCAL is innovative. We want to take the way forward and see what would, you know, unfortunately, radars are absent in our services. And that's why this date is coming up. So, excuse me, you want to join us now? Please join us. Join us. Later on, you can disengage. You are part of this system until you are asked to come. So, it's my honor to invite the first team. Please, you allow them to introduce themselves. After they finish, the time starts for the first rounds. Some products.
Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you very much, dear professors and guests. My name is David Egbe from Benin Republic. I'm representing the Storm Trackers team in this debate, which has as topic, outside the topic, has radar network of system significantly enhance climate and weather forecasts and also climate services. That's the topic we are going to discuss here. So among the members of our team, our Storm Trackers team, we have Diallo.
I was wrong. You rise up and do like this, you know, protocol.
So we have Tony Lope from Nigeria. We have Yoda in Burkina Faso. And we have Grace from Togo. We have Albert from the Gambia. How we start our discussion. So I think we have already seen with all the presentations we have gone through here, all the benefits of radar systems over West Africa. So we have stressed out some points that we found relevant to defend or support our point, which is that radar systems are necessary for enhancements of the weather forecast and climate services improvement in West Africa. The first point is that when it comes to storm tracking, radar systems are the best. So we can really confidently say that radar provides unmatched real-time storm tracking and it can be applied to West Africa. We know that mesoscale convective systems are contributing between 70 and 90% of the rainfall in West Africa. That's why it will be very important to track storms, which represent one of the major disasters in West Africa. So if you want to do it, we need radars. There's no other equipment at the time which can offer better performance in terms of data acquisition, real-time data acquisition for storm tracking. So that's the first point we wanted to stress out. The second one is that when we also state rainfall intensity estimates, radar systems are very good at this one as well. So it can measure the intensities. So the quantity of rain that has fallen on any part of West Africa within a specific time span. So this is one of the second points that will help us to stress out, to emphasize the point that radar are really necessary to enhance climate services in West Africa. And with radar, meteorological or hydrometeorological agency can easily forecast flash floods and short-term forecasts, and also hydrometeorological model input can be easily done with radar systems. The third point we wanted to emphasize is that when it comes to cloud physics, radar system can detect some very, very slight phenomenon such as bright band, DSDA, and vertical structure system development. We have seen the case of bright band a few minutes ago with Prof. So I think this is very interesting when we want to perform some forecasts in terms of predicting the occurrence and also the magnitudes of extreme rainfalls in West Africa. Also, some other phenomena like nighttime convection, wind swirls, and also rapid intensification of these extreme events. So the fourth point we wanted to emphasize is the synergy between radar, satellite, and gauge. So that works is called the combined approach. So this one will be very interesting. If we don't have radar, we can't do this synergy approach. And this will help us to have the best data because we are now talking about data fusion, data integration. So how are we going to do that if we don't have data from radar to be calibrated by rain gauges on the ground, like ground truthing data? If we are not able to retrieve quality radar data, how are we going to do this approach? Synergy. This synergy approach is not possible. So radar are necessary in that sense. And the final one, the last but not the least, of course, I would say the rounded up one, which is actually that radar can strengthen critical sectors. Let's say we can put radar as not just a scientific tool, but it can also help in the economic stability and also development sectors, such as agriculture, aviation, hydrology and water resources, disaster management as well. So just setting the example of aviation, we have seen before that when it comes to turbulences or divergence on the ground, and he has also mentioned that unfortunate crash came or that occurred in Port Harcourt years ago. So we needed that radar system to at least tell in one way that there is this strong wind activities on the ground so that the pilot will not rush to land at that time. So also to predict disaster or to better manage disasters, radar would be very helpful to integrate some early warning, let's say, layers to inform decision makers. So these are the 5 points we wanted to draw your attention on in order to call all of us for propaganda or for an advertisement for radar system expansion in West Africa. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable judges, student colleagues, my name is Abigail Kapsuyaju. I'm from Ghana. These are my colleagues. This work from Nigeria. China from Chris from Cote d'Ivoire. Samira from Niger. Papakune from Mali. So I'm going to present against the motion of us advancing radar technology for West African rainfall forecasting. I appreciate the standpoint of my colleagues, which is to advance it. But let's look at a more realistic approach instead. We know we are already bedeviled by other challenges, and radar technology will not really help us. We are here to speak on the pragmatic approach, one which has a step-to-step that will, overall, not only better forecasting, but other aspects of the system. Already, the weather systems that already exist are bedeviled by infrastructure which are not maintained, power outages that causes all this short circuiting and all that happens. Also, we have lack of manpower to run this. We are talking about weather meteorologists that are non-existent even in the West African continent. We have weather meteorology, engineering, which are not even taught in our universities. How will we be able to operationalize this radar system that we are going to bring in to help a system that is already not having people already there? We also have the point where our West African systems, when there are high thunderstorms, affect attenuation of the X and C band. This already causes that the system you want to forecast already have implications on your forecasting system, which is the radar. Also, because of high thunderstorm and lightning, most of these transmitters are spoiled. And repairing these filters are highly costly. Also, we have the problem where we already have the inputs of satellite, which gives us a wide range of data from satellite. It comes every 24 hours. Most important, this satellite gives us all the ECOWAS regions a cohesive data which can help in climate studies. We are here to say that West African climate forecast cannot solely be relied on radar technology. We need to make this thing more. We need to have a cohesion between the West African countries where the already existing bilateral relationships are enforced. We make sure that they are sustainable. The institutions are able to run efficiently without importing more radar, which already the ones we have are already struggling to be run. For Ghana, we were 2 years gap for running the radar in Accra because the technicians traveled to further his education, and it was very redundant with us depending on only satellite data, which gave us even better result than the radar already existing because there was lack of calibration. The technicians had to go back to school to learn. So I entreat all of us here. Don't let us become important things that will not in the short year run down because you don't have the capacity to run. But let's look at a more pragmatic approach, which will help us not waste money, but invest money into the system, train more people, become advocates for people out there to learn more about climate studies and forecasting for West Africa and West Africa. Thank you.
Let's meet everyone once again. And this my fellow students. Thank you so much, Sky Realists. You came up earlier stating some advantages of reasons we shouldn't have radars right and why there should be an expansion. You stated points like power outages, right? Sorry, I'm putting it up. You mentioned points like maintenance, right? After cottage in universities where students are trained and there's nobody to, there's nobody to maybe further or maybe put that there. And also you say that there's input of sunlight, so why do we need all this expansion? But I, as a storm tracker, I still stand with the points that there is still need for expansion. Because now you're talking about power outages and okay, so I'll pick every points one by one. I just said let me just list every of those things you listed earlier. I'll talk about aspect of costs, maintenance and all that. I'll say that having an advanced expansion of these radars will actually help in early warning of threats and lives will be saved. And we also have to quote the point of safety as the core points. So not having this, of course, we all know where we're going to lie. Then you also talked about having abstract courses in universities where limitation to technical sustainability and things like that. Let's stand on the point here that as a storm tracker, apologies, having more radar than all that will help in apologies. Having all these abstract courses, it's not all about training people, but we are talking about the future. talking about sustainability here. We are saying that maybe because of university students or graduates being trained and they don't really know what to do. And we just starting that. That means we remain static. But we have to look at the future, we have to look at advancement. So we're talking about sustainability here. We can't see that what my father knew like years ago shouldn't be what we stand on. But more people should be trained in the aspect of technical sustainability and all that. Then I also go to the point of environment. You talked about average environmental concerns and things like that. It shows that after the advancement in every of these advancements in methods and all that, we up in studying more climate studies and advanced research. Apologies, you're distracted me. Having advanced research and climate monitoring. So just putting out there that we have a lot to cover and things like that. I stand there with some tracker that we having more radars will help in at least forecasting, not only forecasting, also forecasting whatever is going to happen in the near future. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon again. Starting on the edge. I want to hi to my colleague saying the truth. She was saying that she was talking about sustainability. So what is sustainable about this? That's the first question. What's sustainable about the system that we have? Do we have a system? That's the question. So how do you want to sustain what is not there? No. And to the first, let me start on the first speaker. We mentioned 9 points, but I will go with the 6 major points because of our time. So the first thing you said, breakdowns are necessary. Why are they necessary? You mentioned that in the second point of storm track. So what are the storms in West Africa? The major devastating storm that we have in West Africa is storm line. And for a storm, a radar cannot detect a storm line 1 hour before. It can detect it just 30 minutes before. So are you saying if a storm wants to pass over Akure, are you saying you can evacuate the whole city within 30 minutes? When you have advanced technology that can quench that storm, you want to spend $10 million on radar? Okay. The next question, cloud development. Why to narrow out the clouds? It's West Africa. You have abundance of rainfall. Cloud development is meant for those in the Arab region, the East Africa, where they don't have rainfall, they don't have most of these community systems. We have led, so don't need to focus on what's not lost. That's then the third one, hybrid approach. You mentioned that we need to synergize our gas station and our automatic station. How many weather stations do we have? West Africa? We think on 2. So no country here can boast, even Nigeria, we are just before the largest country in West Africa in terms of economic unity. We have countries like Ghana, which is not unity. Senegal, we don't even have enough stations. So what do you want to validate? If there is no existing structure, why do you need to go into debt? Well, next one, economic stability. How we read that we improve our economy. We want to borrow money and go and buy debt and be spending 10% to maintain it. The last incident that happened in, I think, is in your country, Senegal. Yeah, they have a satellite, they have a ground radar. So it has an issue. They because the radar one from farm. So they requested experts from the farm. It took them 9 months before they can be able to come up here. 9 months, half of a year. So from, let's say, from January to August, September, the radar is just there, doing nothing, wasting away. And will be start every year, 10% of the purchasing cost. So that means you buy it for $10 million, you are spending $1 million every year on it. And your GDP is less than how much? What's the poverty rate of Africa? of West Africa. Africa is in what the UN describes as multi-dimensional poverty. You are not in the extreme. You are outside the boundary. Extreme is $5 per day. Multi-dimensional is less than $2 per day. How much is the rate of food and supply? The time of buy. That's how for I want to send thanks for that. Then the next one, complete staff. I want to start out question. The origin of data is to see what is actually not there, and to know when a big issue is coming, like cyclone, tornado, tsunami. These are major reasons. These are the idea that got okay. When West Africa, if the infrastructures are in place, you don't need the automatic station like the one we have. It's enough, and it can be developed at a very low cost. Less than 1% of what you want to use to buy data that cannot cover from Lagos to Akure. Is that what you want to spend your money? Then the next one, power outage. She was talking about power outage, that why you see single. But I think what it is. Then the next one, then the last one, I think so where and you can't what's on, and you have to be considerate. Like for example, let me give one those states. You know, say our budget is 12 billion naira per month. When converted to US dollar, it's around $8.3 million. Average of $8.3 million than estimate of 1,000. So that means the allocation of this state in a month cannot even get it. So you're saying that is apparent. Some factors, you are continue.
Well, let's okay, small break here. Right, some tracker or realistic. Yeah. Now, this is the team leader for Storm Tracker. You need 2 people from you because you will now go into another round where you tell us the way forward. What is the way forward? And the other people also will tell the way forward. And those who put it together, the United Nations of Storm Trackers and carriers, we want you to please, the Storm Tracker leaders, come forward and introduce them. The 2 people you are donating, who are going to join teams to find the way forward. Yes.
Thank you very much. Again, I am introducing Grace from home. I have a mass in Zambia.
Thank you. All right. Yes, please.
Thank you very much. That's pragmatic. I believe not only do we need people who can help bring this synergy. So we have people who are not just meteorologists, but have been trained to do this exceptionally well. And I present you Samira and Pakoni.
Thank you. So they are the United Nations of, they are going to give us the synthesis. They are well seated. Wonderful. So let's go to the next round. In this round, of course, they will provide the way forward. You have made the arguments. We want to see how we can go forward, and then the next thing will also come. Yes. Who contracts for your team? Some targets.
For this, we need to come from Paris.
So you don't understand. You still need to come forward and provide us the way forward. It's here. The way forward is the
United Nations.
No. Each team will provide that. Did you prefer for that? Yes, they understood. You see, okay, do something quite quickly. Somebody.
So that's still.
They are still on their points.
Okay.
No, in this case anyway, you are not agreeing with each other. You can come forward.
So you wait for
No, that's your beverage.
your reputation, really.
So who goes for you for the team? Yes, system. You know, that's why.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, dear professors. I am Regina from Senegal. Since Tom Saka don't have idea, we are here to give our point of view of this debate. Now I'm going to focus deep on finance point before coming summarize our point. Okay. I just want to introduce something. One radar covers something like 250 kilometers. Now, for a small country like my country, we need minimum at least 5 radars. Now, for West Africa, we have 15 countries in West Africa. Senegal is a small country, but let's take 5 times 50. It will be 75 radars. One radar costs between $3 to $5 million. Now, for the 75 radars, it will cost $225 million. So, where are we going to find this amount to finance radar cover in Western? It's not everybody. It is not everybody. Now, if you want to cover West Africa with radar, you need light. Oh, we cannot have light for our country 24 hours over 24. How are we going to make war radars? Generator. We will contribute to solution because we are going to use fuel to make war generator. It's not an idea. It's a good idea for us. Okay? To maintain the maintenance of radar. And Senegal, we have one radar, sir. Our radar didn't work between 2017 and 2025. The radar don't work. The radar has an issue. They call an expert from, I don't know which country. He came, but he didn't find the issue. Go back. And they gave him tickets to come and to go back. The radar started to work again at March 2025. Now, radars, we use, the weather radar is useful only for the rainy season. And the rainy season in West Africa is from March to, let's say, October or November. For the rest of the months in the year, we don't need the radar. So to invest in radar is not the good idea. So, now, you can say our people are suffering from hunger, from health issues, from something else. Now, we can use this money, invest it in something else good for our people and not in radar, because investing in that issue is more, how can I say? It is more relevant than radar. Yes. Okay. Now, what I want to say is, we can use the money, for example, to fix strong drainage system. Okay. And I want to finish with this. The radar cannot stop storm. Whether you have radar or not, storm will come. The disaster will happen. So let's invent how to fight against disaster, then how to fight radar. Thank you very much.
I don't know. It's very okay. That's an idea process. What I was why? So I have listened to you in the notes. Okay. And first let's speak about economic side of problems.
No, I was focused on
I'm not thinking about you. No, because
Thank you.
we should see the problem in sense. And for example, data is very important. For science, data is very important. You don't look at the cost system. Cause why? The problem is not the rate, it's the cost. Problem is what you can bring out of all of these data that you got and that you're going to use. Today, mostly when we want to study, we go online, NOAA or Copernicus, and we download data. But we can think about it. All of this data we have built it mostly for themselves. Data is more accurate for them, not for us. We can try to build this kind of system in our West Africa. And when we were applying for the West Africa climate system, there are a lot of options. Energy, West Africa, the climate system applied to energy, big data, artificial intelligence, agriculture. Why? Because all of this economic side of what you are depicting, agriculture, health, and so on, it's related to the climate. And for us to improve all of this, you need to really understand your climate system. I remember most of the time when I take part to the seasonal forecast, you still have a lot of debate between the scientists about some aspect of the African monsoon or West Africa climate system that are still not very well understood. Do you agree with me?
No.
Okay. We have done a lot in West Africa climate system. We have learned a lot. But I think there are a lot of things to learn again. And if we are not learning a lot again about West Africa climate system, that's because we have data that are not suitable for what we want to learn about. Right now, we have only weather station, a mathematical weather station, and some satellite data, different kind of data. What radar can bring are different. You can see the system, we connect the system profile. You can understand a lot of things on it. If you go to the Europe and you go to the website and you see the radar network, it's very big. It's not because we don't have a lot of challenges. We have socio-economical challenges. We have this one thing because we are looking forward to do something different. And that's what I want to share. Okay? And for that, you were speaking about I think that's not a problem.
if we start using the radar, you will start training the engineers. Why? Why? Look at how meteorology are being introduced in West Africa. You don't train first, then after that, you bring. You bring with some engineers that are here, and if you bring a lot, you will find the need to train them. That's very important. That you should know. So that's all the element that I wanted to mention. And there are a lot of other things to say about that, but we are scientists, we are not politicians. And for a politician, he can come and say, there's a lot of money, we will not invest on it. But we are not part of that. We are scientists. We are scientists for the West Africa climate system. And what's the debate, where the debate should go is to how we can improve the system for tomorrow to make a sustainable development system. Thank you.
And you are thanks to we are really thanks.
Please, the leaders have closing arguments.
Please.
Can the leaders have closing arguments about?
Okay, if you, let's give you 2 minutes each. 2 minutes, then they will come. You have not given them a lot of work. What you should have said, you didn't say it, so you have a lot of work now. Please, have your closing arguments, the leaders, 2 minutes each. Thank you. Ask the question.
So Abigail, very tricky.
Thank you very much. I can see my colleagues are not prepared to. I guess.
With them, we are more we are ready to
Yeah, I'll see that. The goal of research is to be implemented. We are not only working just to put our work on shelves, but to make them into policies that will help our countries. So, what we can do in the future as farmers is to develop low-cost rain gauges, which can help adequately measure rainfall in our communities. A decentralized system, when even in those states where the budgets are allocated, Christians can make water rain gauges. Even with the existing satellite also, we can also make it so that we can capture a crop which can be calibrated to forecast rainfall properly over our countries, rather than spending huge chunks of money to buy and purchase more weapons, with a lack of manpower and otherwise to handle them. We go for a system where even when our purchasing of this weekend, we make sure that university courses are, before this are done, there's an implementation process. So if it's this rain gauges or process of building more rains, there are schools to already exist people in schools that have been trained to know this as what's being done. We have experts from outside the country come and teach like what we have been done in WASCAL. When we are being privileged to have experts from all over the world teach us on things that were expected. It should be done in the university so that when they go out to the stations, they can adequately man the systems as citizens, not as foreigners come to do it. Thank you very much.
Any response? Yes.
Yes, thank you very much, Prof. Thank you, gentlemen. When I hear that you the team from Realist, I was expecting something new, but you are. It was the same thing again, same arguments and centered on the economy. What I want to emphasize is that we are doing research for implementation, but what is the role of non-explored area? Like I explained myself, you need data to do research. And every time you're saying that you can use satellites, you can use JTs, but we have seen in the course now that what radar can capture, satellites can't do it. It's just physics. We are not like trying to replace something like that. So radar combination, satellite countries, gauge countries. So we are just trying to invite for the complementary approach, hybrid approach. That's what we are addressing. And the second point I wanted to mention, the topic of the debate is radar expansion. We talked about buying radar. We can approach it another way. We need to have an open mind. We can do it another way. We are not forced to buy new radars. It's possible. When you want to expand the network, you can go as China. Buy one specimen, then you learn. It's possible. Thank you.
Yes, you see something where we now come to the moderating. Before I make comments and the director make his comment, we need to hear from them. They are the 4 wise people. Wise men, right? Okay, thank you. Okay. Way forward.
So, thank you very much, colleagues. So actually, we are the team that was charged to complete all the arguments that was brought out during this debate. And my name is Samira Musa.
My name is Sultan Chris.
I am Albert Bass.
Okay. So we listened to the both groups carefully and with a great interest, and with the arguments that actually come up. And despite all the challenges that actually our countries are facing, and we suggest that we think that if we look at the issue objectively and lucidly, so we can say that currently we really need the riders. And it is a necessity so to ensure accurate prediction, because this will help our countries to better prepare for natural disasters that can be floods or droughts, and we know that this costs a lot for our government and even for the populations. And I want to come up with one wise statement that say, ignorance is more costly than knowledge.
That's true. Thank you.
As a team of completion, so we try to develop four points that we think are realizable and realistic. The first point, we say that we think we need to train at least 50, 5 and 0 engineer and in radar and radar meteorologist. So that we can do this with let's say an international program such as WASCAL, and why not Pan-African program as well. So we can train young people to become an engineer and a radar meteorologist. My colleagues will continue with the other points.
Okay, thank you, Amina. Thank you, Professor. Okay, as she said, we came out with 4 suitable policy. And the second one is local manufacturing of radar components in West Africa. So to fully achieve the vision of modern and sustainable radar network, I think that we need to go beyond buying radar from abroad. We can develop a part of technology in Africa. And this is why the creation of the West Africa Radar and Climate Observation Center, duly operated by ECOWAS and agreement, is very, very essential. And this center will not only manage data calibration, they can also serve as a hub of center where our 50 best engineer will come and together develop a best radar for our West Africa. And this is not a joke because we have a raw material that we can use to do it. So this is our second point. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much for this for your job. So after looking both the advantage and the challenges of radar technology, so I think it's clear West Africa needs like a balanced and sustainable solution. So I was enjoying your discussion where we were Abigail Christopher and then David came and so I appreciate that. So as he said, I wanted to focus my thoughts on the third point. And the third point is about to build and share regional radar network. So in West Africa, we have some agencies, like she said previously, we have agreements, we have also ECOWAS. So these services can work together and came with a policy that's bring many countries together and creates an integrated and joint radar technology so that data can be shared within our country. Even if you are a Nigerian researcher or a Benin researcher, if you go to Mali, you must have data. So like we have a data user. If you want to run a model, so you have to have a accurate data. So you must combine radar technology and also satellite data with ground data in order to measure the bias and correct the bias so that we can have the accurate early warning system to inform farmers about planting day, about rainfall season and rainfall rainfall. Yeah. So nice. I want to give the floor to the next speaker so that he can talk about the fourth point. Thank you.
Greetings once again, the members of the high table and my fellow students. Thank you so much for the deliberations that you have listened kindly. Honestly, you have covered, you have made very serious points about the issue of the radar. Like my colleague have said, we are not here to pick and choose on what to do, but the fact remains the same. There's need for radar. So what are we going to do to make sure that we practice or we operate radar, but at the same time, it will not hurt our society. So this is why we come together with the following solution. They have presented 3. My role will be to present another one to make it 4, and then try to link these recommendations to some important program documents. So the first point I'm going to present is about climate service delivery, which prioritizes hazard assessment and early warning system rather, by utilizing radar and my data to improve climate diagnostics and modeling. Yeah, like they have all presented. She emphasized about the need to localize things, and he emphasized the need to build partnership. But all these things coming together, we still need to find priority areas. Africa, especially those countries that are in coastal zone, they are facing trade risk. It's like somebody who is sitting on a time bomb. Anything can happen at any time because of the effects of climate change. So as a result, we need to prioritize. This is why we need to prioritize hazard assessment and early warning system. And now I will take you through on how all these recommendations are linked to some of the important development goals, especially SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. Starting with my dear sister here, in terms of capacity building, which is very important. Okay, that is the human capital part of it. If you look at the SDG number 4, which emphasizes quality education, it is in line with what you have proposed. Okay, the SDG number 4 emphasizes that there is need for developing practical skills in data acquisition, processing, and interpretation for doctoral level work. And this WASCAL have already started it. They have organized this doctoral program, and like he said, they can even expand it to Pan-African and even other institutions can come involved. All geared towards one thing, building capacity, ensure that by a few years to come, Africa or West Africa precisely will be blessed with a lot of radar technicians or engineers who are able to carry out radar operations themselves without having to depend on external help all the time. The second part is trying to localize radar operation, which is very true. This can lead to data precision and science. And in doing this, we need to refine application of radar system by using techniques like Doppler to measure dynamic storm features like wind speed and turbulence. Because we are the ones living in West Africa, so we know our problem more than any other expert who is coming outside us. So if we are able to localize things, to come up with our local solutions, we who understand the climatic condition of our place, we realize that in years to come, we'll be able to tackle our problem more efficiently than somebody who is coming outside. So coming to what my brother here has said, the need for partnership is true. And before going to that, sorry, let me try to link our suggestion to the SDG that support it. That is SDG number 17, which emphasizes that, SDG number 4, quality education. Because to build things locally, we need to educate our teams. Education is not only about English. When we look at these Arab countries, for example, they do things using their own language. When we look at Russia, for example, things using their own language. And recently, China, they are also doing a lot of things using their own Chinese language. So education is not only about Western education, but we can educate our people locally. Thank you. Able to come up with things that will solve our own issues. So what she suggests is in line with SDG number 4, which emphasizes quality education. Okay, because that will lead to developing practical skills in data acquisition, processing, interpretation. Yeah, and
take it.
So we now come to the last part from my brother here. That is on the need for partnership. That is system integration and programming. Okay, this is important because it will lead to strengthening the capacity for integrated multi-sensor data set. Every country trying to work well, our colleagues have already mentioned that, and we don't have much fun. But imagine if we are able to bring together our tiny economies together, you'll be able to form a uniform force, whereby anything we approach, we will tend to be successful than when we work individually. And again, if you come together, purchasing power becomes even much more easier when you come together than trying to work individually. And his recommendation is in line with SDG number 13, which claims, and I quote, climate action, emphasize like creating a robust climate monitoring infrastructure. And also SDG number 9 is also in support of that, which emphasizes industry, innovation, and infrastructure by integrating technology and platforms. They did not say platform, which we need to come together, integrate to be able to face our major concern that we will be able to solve. So coming to my point, the SDG that supports is SDG number 2, which is zero hunger, and SDG number 1, no poverty. Because if we are able to solve all these things locally, it will prevent disaster, like what has happened to Jamaica recently, in Melissa, something. You know, you see all those people, maybe all this while they thought that they don't have much money to buy some of these machines that will help them predict weather. Now look at what happened. The cost that they are facing right now is even more than buying the radar. So the same thing can happen to us, okay? By coming up with this at the long run, because we don't need to look at the present situation for this. Mr. Yoda has made a mention of that. We, as scientists, we need to always look forward. What will happen when we do this later on? Okay, even if you don't benefit, but our children will be able to benefit. So at the end of this, if all these problems are solved, there is no more disaster and other things, it will lead to more economic improvement in families, because the economy that the government can use to aid people during that disaster can be invested into people, and that can definitely help combat, especially in the agriculture and other stuff. Yeah, and that can also solve the problem of poverty. So these are our recommendations.
You agree with me that this thing is just too fantastic. If I were from your country, you have to go to COP, Committee of Conference, this 30, because you have done so well for you. Thank you so much. Mira, Jade, Department, thank you so much. We are very grateful. Now we are coming to the conclusion of this, and the fact is that you have all done well. And before the Papa, not Papa again. Yes, sir. Just have a picture again. So you have done so well. We next time you can do better, but definitely you have done well. And we have this talent. Yes, it's wonderful. Thank you so much. Let me just say some perceptions. There are so many that I was just connected. Somebody came and said, one radar cannot serve here to Badon, to some events. You are nonsense. Some radars are portable. You can put it in your truck and travel around. Some radars, like the C-band and other S-band, they cover up to 500 kilometers. Because it's just 300 meters. So when you see such S-bands, you don't just need, they can overlap. And that's what happened. They have networks in the US. That is network of radars. So actually, you can do more than that. We're on track. And I want to appreciate you, in particular before the director will conclude. Let me just bring to your notice some of the things that we expect you to say, because I myself have worked on this. But I must say that whatever the group have said, you are right. And you see, we are getting talents here. Can you see the talents? Even from other countries, they can speak so well that now I'm afraid. I can't speak French. They have come and they are mastering it so well. I will say, Now, whenever I'm going to do something, I think I'll go with some of them for the cover. So let's just say that there are quite some things to note. The questions we should ask actually, what common themes emerge from the proposals that we have made? Which radar configuration are most feasible for ECOWAS level of integration? What is the minimum viable radar network for West Africa? Okay, where should we sustain or prioritize our ambition? Yes, we can't integrate that. Victor will say, I feel we should not even prioritize. We understand. Which need to prioritize. What is Abuja, in Bamako, and all this? What are they doing? They're not prioritizing your welfare. And I agree that when something happens, you forget about all that you can do. If family does not have insurance, when something else happens, all your money is gone because you have no insurance. So we need to manage it. So can we formulate a 5-point regional map? I will say some things here, and she also, and in her group, that group is because I don't know why. How do they get the points? So they went to SDG, they went to this, they went to economics and so on. I think they should write it up for us, combine with some of these things, and then we'll give it to the director. The management will look at it. Maybe we'll make a proposal, because really, that's why you're here. At the end of the day, you're having, what's it called? This proposal, policy brief. Even together as verse 6 says, these are policy brief, and it stands on its own. And it's good. For if you want to progress, we need to do this. It will affect agriculture, water resources, safety, and other things. Then, so what can there be included? Some of the things we can do are this. Yes, Nigeria cannot have it alone, but suppose you have some other networks between Lagos, Ibadan, Axis, Accra, Kumasi. So when you are traveling, when you are traveling to Lagos, you always have network. So can we only have the network in the countries overlapping? Ibadan, something, Accra, Kumasi, Dakar, Miami, Abuja, Kano. When we have it like that, we are covering something. So it is a joint, when they want to share money, they know how to meet. But when it comes to this, they don't need to talk about collaborative efforts. So then, what type of leader do we have? We need S-band for national metrical and medical services, aviation hubs. Then we have H-bands for urban flooding and so on. Those who are the director is working with urban centers. So these are portable readers that you need for local something. And for those who are working on malaria and a lot of places, then we can have so mobile readers, field campaigns, MCS tracking. Accurate can be a point. Then we now can begin to see how do we integrate the blueprints, radar, image. You learned about IRAD already. CHEPS, AWS. That is what early warning system, and the regional data portal, real-time quality control. What has WADA? You can do more. WADI. Then capacity building. I'm happy that you have talked about this. Some of you say we don't have anything, but we can begin to build. Radar meteorology training at WASCAL. WASCAL where? GPRs. Let's tell them to start the training here. And then engineering partnerships, or they come to apprentice maintenance funds through national budgets and so on. So if I were President Tinubu, I can reach others and say, look, our people are dying, we need to do this. Sustainability roadmap, country maintenance pools, spare parts hubs. Somebody has said that, you know what happened? Yes, I agree with you. We can do it. Yes. Do you know what India did? India did not have it that many yet. You know what India has done now? India has a lot of capacity. They don't have objects like now president. President has mechanism as well. Okay. Now, very, very quickly, then we also need collaboration with universities. Now, what is the integrated approach? Finally, you see smart radar ecosystem in West Africa, and how do we're not saying we should cover the deserts. It's not quite to say we're going to cover the desert, cover from Miami to Bamako or something. We will not cover everything, but we can still deploy radars, high impact density radars for vulnerable areas. But like I have said, Ibadan, Lagos-Ibadan corridor, Akure Kumasi, if they want, let them put radar. Put radar for traffic control. You know that you are speeding. That's not our point here. You can save lives, but more lives are lost through flooding than accidents. That's the truth. Then we can have the Niamey for the Sahel, for the propagation of score lines in that area from Niamey to the Sahelian area. Abuja Kano corridor is also there. So if you have 8 to 10 readers, we can have a regional mosaic. Togo says we don't have money. We can try you. Ghana and something can overlap. Okay. And then our something can be. So what are we saying? Now we're combining what I've learned already. Image. That's a broad scale for. We have Doppler radar for precision that can look at microphysics and so on. We have ground radar of how, for nowcasting. Then we have gauge, we need gauge, rain gauge networks. And then finally, we have this hybrid approach for accuracy and so on. So we can build investment for radar engineering, radar meteorology, quality assurance algorithm, dog organization training, data explanation for WAF, nowcasting, and CMH systems, okay? And then, what is the role of WASCAL? WASCAL here, we can play a central role. And that's why your record is wonderful. can we put it with this one and make a roadmap for WASCAL and give it to the director? He will know what to do. This is for transformation. So what we want to do, the economy radar clusters. So we use affordable S-radars for urban centers like your urban climatology and all these flood-prone areas, so we can save lives. Use S-band radars for national, for synoptic system, and then integrate this into our regional platform. At the end of the day, we now establish what I can call West African Radar Exchange. I mean, we can begin this and begin to, then we have open access. We don't say you pay money for it, like they are doing something. Then we have cloud-based radars, for example, in the satellites. We know you have them, we can engage them. So GMP can be very good for us. And then long-term sustainability, the university-private partnership, the funding by EU, AFDB, World Bank, we can phase it out so that it becomes operational and in management and everything. The closing message is this: radar is indispensable. We all agree now, but only when deployed wisely, maintained sustainably, integrated with satellites, ground-based systems. This creates a resilient, multi-layer, and future-proof forecasting system for West Africa through batch 6 and the DPR-WACS. And on this note, I don't know if he could stay here for this long because he's so busy, but he sat here. But at the end of the day, this blueprint is for him. He had to present it somewhere and say, the batch 6, they are not lazy, they are working hard, and they are ready to become radar experts, radar meteorologists, and so on. On this note, sir, thank you so much.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody, once more. So, and I must also confess that everybody has done well. We are impressed by for so many things that all the highlights for scientific accuracy, argument quality, counter-argument strength, the feasibility and realism, team collaboration and innovation. All headings captured there clearly and well demonstrated during the course of this presentation. And I must start from the teamwork perspective. So we can see how you guys have, within even some friends, after some time you begin to mark some people as team, as friends. And you could see where friends in the physical context have suddenly almost become enemy in quotes. So that is teamwork, because fighting for your team and, everybody in the team trying to win for their team. So I think you can give a round of applause. Where it is no longer Samira and Regina, where it is no longer Abigail and you begin to wonder what's happening. It's become a crossfire. So that's a very good one. So, and I also want to say that I was initially also thinking, maybe there will be a kind of a disadvantage being a francophone. And I think that also, like this WSC9O, this PROS course has brought a lot of transformation that you almost could not notice francophone. In speaking, everybody spoke clearly, and I was so impressed, and I don't want to put it to 4 months language course. No, it is better. It is better than when you guys came. So, and on the subject, while presenting, everybody learns every day. Even we as visited, we also pick new things that, not viewed from this perspective. And I like the way Prof concluded, on issue. I was wondering maybe at the end of the day, I hope we kill radar technology and let us forget about it for life. No, that when you look at that technology, it's a versatile technology.
yes, of course, because Range Rover is expensive does not mean that I do not like Range Rover. And if I'm privileged to have one, that I will not use it. There are features that this has back beyond the issue of whether, as far as talking about the band categories, the one that can capture the urban, the one that can for tracking of storms, and also as much as even security issues in West Africa coast. The radar does a lot, it's multi-sectoral, applicability and usage. We cannot underestimate it. The fact that Africa is poor alone, but I know that technology is advancing, and even from this, somebody can be driven. We have people who are from metrology and end up devising like that doctor that is stepping out. How can we even bring a micro, locally fabricated radar for that we also serve some purposes for ourselves that will be like what China is doing, that is everything low cost, and yet you still get what you want to achieve. To have an automatic weather station before, it's like you need to go to heaven and get money from God. During the days when we started Delta T, Airline Corp, no department in Africa can purchase those automatic weather stations now, except there's a. But now we have, low cost automatic weather stations that are now available that people are even buying for their own self projects. So we believe that Africa can also get there, and they're not only supported through China to devise it. So on this note, I want to appreciate our course lecturer, for in one of his calling. I don't know, maybe we should leave that column for him, innovation. So this is also part of innovation, creativity. So during his days in the university was when we begin to hear things like eye care. You remember eye care, that's the university's mission, vision statement, innovation and all those things. So he's a man that is always not want to do it the way everybody does it. It can still be adjusted and modified. And I know you must have noticed that also during the course of this 1 week. So let us put and I know that you guys are going to be better for it. And even this charge alone is like an impetus. When next you are going to have a proposal, the presentation, nobody will be shaking. Because you've already conquered that kind of fear through this course. Everybody stood to present. So this is how you are also going to leverage on this also to during your proposal, that looking at people's face to talk will not scare you. So on all ground beyond the title of the course, it has taken you through so many things. So we appreciate that. I don't know if the at this junction. So we want you to please still don't drop it at this point. It can be taken further. You know that through this, somebody can attend some conferences. And this is just, apart from your own research topic, you can put it together and just submit something like this somewhere, and where you'll be invited and come and speak about it. Because you are pushing something that is also, and we have a student who is taking a melon to space from FUTA, who graduated. I supervised that boy 2018. I'm surprised the year is so short for the things he's doing. And when he came, then I was the actual director, Center for Space Research Application. He said he wants to do something related to GNSS application for flood forecasting in Lagos. And we started, and he presented in our department, and then even he said there are no too many data empirical formula. The idea was healed. So I said, don't worry, do it. We will take it to a conference, and we're doing site work. I didn't even know that's going to be a part for the boy. He's the owner of Space in Africa, the chief executive of Space in Africa, and also now another outlet from that same organization, when Climate in Africa, big organization. And it's known NASA everywhere. They know when it comes to speaking about space in Africa, is the front liner and is the youngest. One of the 30 youngest CEOs on that makes Forbes list. He's there, he's included. And anything space in Africa, he talks, he's everywhere, every week he travels. And he said, so somebody can also begin to talk about radar in Africa through this. Honestly speaking, I'm even thinking of maybe I can steal your idea to begin to argue why and why. So Prof has brought something big on the table for you to take further and also explore. I pray that God will help you. And somewhere in about 5 or 10 years time, Prof will just be referring back also that it was through that 1 week experience that this also comes into play. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. We really appreciate it, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for just, yes, in fact, it's as if what I intended to say. I just remember in 1999 or so, one Prof taught us satellite meteorology. He came with different photocopies of infrared,
visible, water vapor.
Identify. They just give it to you, identify. So that was because I did not know the story in the beginning until then. So we want to appreciate you for your innovativeness. At every simple thing, probably bring out something big. So that we will say, how can this thing come out? So I want us, as students, to take it up to even other courses. Mm-hmm. You can arrange among yourselves too, and even if the lecturer, does not even pass through that route, you can also do an unofficial thing. Nobody will assess you, and you get it done. You have a better understanding of what you're doing. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, sir.
I'm so friendly.
You know, the funniest thing, we didn't complete that story of infrared water. We were still talking about Prof. quite too long. He said, you will look at the theory. Which? Yes. By the time you go, but these are better. You can easily identify. Thank you so much, sir.